the tidbits. The tidbits are sponsored by Game Day Sportswear again this week. Game Day Sportswear is your local Aussie supplier of all your sporting workwear and school uniforms. Proud sponsors of many local clubs, schools, and associations. So, fellas were rocking the hard 90 shirts there. Randall, those nipples look pretty hard too. Look at you go, old
hard
son.
90-degree.
You'll be able to. I think you're going to kick us off with the tidbits tonight, Randall, actually.
Beauty, what did I have? Oh, that's right. This little clanger come up the other day. I was sitting there scrolling through. This is a junior college in Ohio. I tell you what, imagine being the coach now, the opposition, and seeing these three names come up in the lineup. Alex Rodriguez, the third, Kirk Gibson, and Joe Morgan. How would you feel as an opposition manager in junior college seeing these guys come up?
Be pretty handy lineup.
Oh, mate. Good little what have you got? A couple of Hall of Famers there.
Interesting to see what happens to these three gents.
Yeah, well, they'll be put in their little black book. Keep an eye on these guys.
It'll be already.
Gibson there's a right-hander. We know that good Gibson was a lefty.
What else you got for us, Randall?
Yeah, so Fernando Tatis Jr. This has been a little bit of a controversial thing happening at the moment. He's on rehab assignment playing for, I think he's playing for El Paso Chihuahuas. I find it a bit odd, you're serving a suspension for performance-enhancing drugs, but you're allowed to go and play minor league and play rehab assignments and get ready for your major league return. So he absolutely crushed the ball. I don't know, did you guys see the clip of that?
Yeah.
He tattooed it. It was absolutely crushed. And someone's jumped onto Twitter, as they do, and said, Cade McClure, the pitcher, will be telling people for years about the time he gave up an absolute nuke to Fernando Tatis Jr. He straight up responded with, Cheetah hits a home run in a rehab assignment during steroid suspension, whatever.
Good answer.
What do you think? Call. Should he be allowed to be going and getting in reps and getting prepared to play again in the major league while he's serving a drug suspension?
No, absolutely not.
I think
it's the same here. Imagine Ponga finally gets done for his cocaine abuse at the, allegedly what substance he may have taken, and then he goes and plays
for reserve grade
or for the Scorps or in the local league. Like, if you're suspended from one division, you should be gone from all.
That's right. I agree. Especially with, if they want to stamp out performance-enhancing drugs and have a hard stance on it, they should be doing that. Like you look at if I think Bauer and all these sort of guys that were facing court, the legal matters, they weren't allowed to play. They weren't allowed to go and get reps in. Like, they were completely cut off from the sport. So how should this be any different? He's done the crime. He's not doing the time. He's going to walk back in and he's going to be ready to go at the end of his suspension. He's already been getting his reps in, getting his work done.
Well, I hope he's doing it for free.
Wow. Yeah.
Should be gone. And the only way he can play would be like some sort of independent ball or something like that, where it's not, something that maybe not aligned with the MLB. But yeah, for me, it's a no as well.
Go to the bananas.
Yeah, even still, what ramifications are there if he gets hurt playing independent ball when he's under contract and serving a suspension? Like, there's just, there's just so many questions.
Yeah, sit him down. Yeah, I agree. What about this one? The pitcher Brady Ware threw a no-hitter and hit the cycle in the same game. Absolute weapon, mate. Shohei Ohtani, I haven't seen him do that yet, but it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's a fair effort, though. Like, one would be career-wise, let alone having two and in the same game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to see, the this two-way player stuff starting to, just starting to creep in a little bit more. We're starting to see a little bit more about it. Hopefully it means, they're not just pigeonholing these kids. Yeah, if he's showing 98, 99, that's it. You're a pitcher. Don't touch a bat. Hopefully they're letting these kids that can do a bit of both actually do both.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Why not? Our F1 in Melbourne also set some records, most red flags ever in a Formula One race. Now, I watched the arse end of the race, and laps 55, 57, red flag. Something happened in lap 58 as well. I think they end up going under yellows for the finish or something like that. So, the F1 setting records. It's all for the Aussies.
Giving the crowd what they want.
That's it. Dave, over to you.
Yes, and mine. So interesting one, this one. So the most Major League Baseball seasons stealing at least one base without being caught at all. So you think about that and you think, okay, well, probably Ricky Henderson style person or something like that. No, Greg Maddux with 10. He did 10 seasons in a row without being caught while stealing a base. So it's not the first person that comes to mind when you think of that stat, is it?
No, it's probably the last, or one of the last.
Pretty crazy.
But it just shows you what sort of brain he had. Is that he'd probably know. He'd know the pitches, he'd know the timing, and they're not expecting him to go. And crazy.
Yeah, another person that comes to mind would be Ben Terry. He for some reason had the same knack of being able to do that. Still does.
Paul Inkpen.
Yeah,
Inky was the
Inky
same.
Well.
Yeah, right.
He was sneaky.
Yeah, a flash from the past too, Hudson.
Yeah, sure is. Yeah, I don't know. I guess these days they're a bit more protected. It's like the quarterbacks, don't run as much and they slide before getting tackled and things like that. Is it a bit of a case of that? Or now pitchers don't even get on, but you know what I mean? Possibly.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But you talk about pitchers hitting. The fun fact, in 2014, Madison Bumgarner had 2 grand slams, and that's more than Derek Jeter hit in his entire career. So you want something out of left field, like pitchers who can hit. There you go. Like we just mentioned, Bumgarner, 2 grand slams in the 1 year, and more than Jeter hit in his whole career. Which is surprising on Jeter. I thought he might have hit a couple more than that.
Yeah.
No, Jeter wasn't an overly big power hitting guy, really, was he? Though he was, he probably had a pretty high career batting average, but he just seemed to be clutch. That bloke just got the hits when they need to have hits. But Bumgarner, how many home runs has he got, Hudson? Do you know? You don't happen to know a rough number off the top of your head?
No idea.
Being a Giants fan.
He's got a few though.
Yeah, like I sit back and think, and I could probably count 10. Pretty easily. He had that knack. He had that knack, didn't he?
Got his hacks in.
He was often called on as a pinch hitter too. Like if they wanted to save a guy, he could handle the bat. So many a time he got called upon to pinch hit.
Pretty cool. Something we don't see again today, other than Shoei. So hopefully,
like you just said, mate, he never got cheated out there. Like
no,
he got up there and he was hacking and he was going hard.
Yeah,
he was swinging. He was pressing square all day, power swing.
Just like Bartolo.
Just like Bartolo, yeah.
Beautiful. Well, that's our tidbits for today, fellas. Thanks again to Game Day Sportswear for jumping on and sponsoring this week's tidbits.